It's cold outside. Okay. I think we're live. All right. So there's big growth, big openings, and big stories. It's another busy week in Hamilton County, of course. I'm Cameron Geesaman, your local real estate expert, community connector, and your go-to for all things HamCo. We're checking out a dream farm in Carmel today that's redefining country living. A brand new Fishers Community Center finally ready to welcome the public. A must-try new bistro and a massive Westfield development that is going to be reshaping the north side. And for my fellow trail lovers, there's a brand new path connecting all four Hamilton County cities, not all four, the main four Hamilton County cities. You guys, I'm going to wake up at some point in time. If you like staying in the know about what's next, my brain is not firing today. If you like staying in the know about what's happening in and around Hamilton County, then of course, grab your favorite beverage. Today it's water. I'm lame. I should have made some tea, but I didn't. So grab your favorite beverage and let's get into it. Okay. First up, we are talking about, let me get this all situated. Carmel has a new farm. And what I mean by new farm, it's not a new farm. It's been around for a little bit. But what I mean by that is there is country living in Carmel. The reason why this article kind of grabbed my eye is I get clients all the time that call and ask about land, right? We want to build, or can you find us a property that is in, Hamilton County, because I want to have it be a little bit more out, but yet still be close to everything. And so I loved this article. You can see in the picture, it says Julie and Justin Hayes. It's not Hayes. Hawes. Established Hawesome. Okay, now I get it. It's Hawesome Farm at 4410 West 141st Street in Carmel in 2020. And so there's a picture of the family. So suburban living is what welcome to the show. Let me just say a bunch of random words and cough into the mic. Isn't it fun today, you guys? Happy Tuesday. Suburban living is what characterizes life in Carmel for most residents, but it wasn't always that way. Many areas inside Carmel's city limits were once dotted with family farms, which is true. I mean, when I moved here over 30 years ago, there were farms everywhere. When you would drive, I'm in Fishers, so when you would drive from my little house in downtown Fishers to Hamilton Southeastern High School, we used to call it BFE, or that you could pack a lunch on your way there, because it was all farms. It's not all farms anymore. Although no longer a farming community, which is true, there are still traces of that farming past in Carmel. Hawesome Farm, which is, I already gave the address, it brings a bit of rural character to the city and shows suburbia what the world of farming is all about. I love this. They've really turned it into kind of an oasis. They own, live and work on this 6-acre farm. Julie is a former corporate benefits advisor, and Justin is a global support supervisor for Salesforce, which is one of the biggest large corporations here in Indianapolis. Salesforce is downtown Indianapolis. Have many, many friends that work there. But it sounds like he was tired of that, corporate living and wanted to do something different. So they bought and renovated the farm in 2020. They had farming experience, but had a love of the outdoors. Sorry, they had farming experience, but had a love. I read that correctly. For some reason, I read it and thought that it said they didn't have. I was like, am I seeing things? But had a love of the outdoors and a dream for their 4 children. The Haws were also inspired by the Christian faith. And so you can see here, they have tons of chickens. So they have 200 chickens, 15 ducks, and 5 lambs. The farm has 2 business sides. The animals, greenhouse and orchard serve the farm to table side of the operation. And then the poultry, produce, eggs, and the lamb, which is a Suffolk Southern South Down hybrid, are processed for meat. You guys, a part of me loves this. I always wanted to live on a farm and actually do this. Adam, the guy behind the camera, say hi, Adam. Hi, Adam. Is not like, has no interest of living on a farm. And so like this just like pulls at my heartstrings of like having a working farm. And so they've also done a lot more. So the farm, Awesome Farm, also is a destination for local children to learn how farms work and to have a private place to experience the outdoors. Awesome Farms also has open hours where anyone can visit, which I think is really awesome. They also have a camp where they that they started, where they invited friends and small groups over. They have a whole play area, so a 700 square foot tree house. This just makes me happy. This goes to show to you that yes, even though we're in suburbia, and a lot of people love that, all my neighbors, we all want to live in a neighborhood. But then I have clients that want to buy on land. I have one right now that they're wanting to do the same thing. They're in Martinsville, which is southwest, like on your way to Bloomington. But like they want to have something like this. They want to be able to have a sustainable ecosystem where they live, where they can, have ducks and chickens and cows and all of the things, but yet also still be close to downtown and be able to experience kind of both worlds. And so that's one of the main reasons I absolutely love Hamilton County is you have people like them, the Haas, that are living the farm life, but yet also in suburbia. So yes, it's possible for those that are kind of thinking that you want to have that. Now, I will tell you, there's a lot of people that have looked for this. So the price of what they purchased has gone up quite a bit. So it's a little bit harder to find, but it can be found. So anyways, I thought that was a really cool story. I love, again, like they have sheep. This story goes on and on. You can definitely check it out on youarecurrent.com, but it kind of talks about all that the farm has to offer and that you can go and see it and say hi. Now, for all of you that are kind of holistic styled, I definitely have some clients that come to me from that realm. Our farmers markets are amazing. They're great places to go and get local eggs and produce and have it be, if you want it to be organic, there's organic. If you don't care about organic, there's non-organic, right? But I just love this area because every single community kind of has their own ecosystem when it comes to kind of that holistic living. And so I love this. I love that they're doing this. I think this is actually the younger generations that are coming along. They are kind of pushing for some of this, kind of going back to the past and really kind of changing how we do things. And I'm loving that. So anyway, so if you have any questions, I don't say this a lot on our talking heads, but if you ever have questions about kind of that side of Hamilton County or what it's like to live here, and if you are kind of more a naturopath or want to live a more holistic life, Indiana traditionally, if you look at the data, is a fairly heavy state or an overweight state. I would tell you that Hamilton County is its own little bubble, and I think is a great place to be able to have this where you can kind of have farm living. Which kind of brings me to the next topic, which is that the Fishers Community Center is technically open at this point in time to founding members. Adam and I have been now 4 times. It opened last week. Our goal is to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So if you want to if you want to say hi to me, that kind of sounded weird. Interrupt my workout. I love talking to people, so I might not get back to the workout, but I am excited about being there and experiencing the community center. It's been a long time coming. It is a 105 square foot Fishers Community Center. It'll technically open to the public on November 1st. There's going to be a dog park. There is a large indoor playground, which you guys, the playground is amazing. Track, gym, childcare center, meeting space, fitness center, and aquatics facility. It's a 60 million facility. The Fishers Health Department also moved there. And then one of our favorite restaurants, Adam actually works there when he was in high school, is Psalms. It's a Fishers family restaurant that's been here the entire time I've lived in Fishers. And so when they announced that Psalms was going to be the like restaurant or cafe in the community center, I was so excited. We actually went there on Friday, and I told Adam, I said, we went a little bit later than we had anticipated. And I said, I texted him because he was swimming. So part of the reason he loves it is there are 4 swim lanes, so he can get his swimming in, but then I can work out and do other stuff. He said the pool is amazing. It's the right temperature, which is really great. Actually, the aquatics director there actually used to be a coach at the Fishers High School swim team, an assistant coach, or maybe she was at FAST. I can't remember which one. Adam will reply when he hears it because he's behind FAST, which is Fishers Area Swimming Tigers. And so she is now running it. Love her. I think actually FAST is really bummed to lose her to the fitness center. But she was there. She asked Adam, what is the temperature? How is it? And he's like, it's good. And it's so clean. Everything's so nice. So the workout area is upstairs. That's where also the indoor track is. It's amazing. The workout gear is much better. We have been members at the Y, Lifetime, LA, and my son has been part of one of the cheaper ones. I can't think of what it is. Anyways, and hands down, it is the best one we've been a part of. So I'm really excited. I don't know if there's anything else really about this article. I just really wanted to talk about that it was opening, and that it is a really great community. So here's those 4 lanes. So you can see that there's 4 lanes. They also have a ninja course. So the thing that you can see, so up here, I'm pointing, like, can you see it? You guys? A ninja course, and they dropped that on Sunday. So our twins went and experienced that on Sunday. They said it was awesome. And then there's another side of the pool that they're not really showing here, but they have like water aerobics where you can, so there's, for those of you that can't take stairs, it's a 0 gravity. So you can walk into the pool and do your aerobics and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about the community center. The food that Psalms had was really good. I made some recommendations and they said that they would let them know. Everybody was really nice. Everybody that I've met there is really, really nice. They also have personal trainers that you can like sign up to have. There's classes. I haven't looked at all the classes. I'm not typically a class person. I like the people in classes, but I am working on a SI joint back pain issue. And so I am like the slowest person. So if you just see me laying on the ground, I'm working on my SI joint where they're called winks and blinks. I know this is way more than you want to know, but like I have to like squeeze my butt cheeks. I know it's so funny. But it looks so weird as I'm just laying there on the ground in the middle of the workout area. You're going to be like, is she taking a nap? Not taking a nap, trying to get a better butt. Okay, so next up is if you don't want to go to the workout center in Fishers, and let's say or you don't live in Fishers, you live in Westfield or Carmel or Noblesville. The Hamilton County has worked really, really hard to kind of connect all the cities. And so I'm really excited about this one. It's called the HamCo Hubway So if you're ready to stretch your legs and soak in the crisp fall air, whether you're chasing autumn colors, planning a weekend adventure, or just looking for a scenic way to stay active, the HamCo Hubway is your ultimate guide to getting out and about in Hamilton County. This integrated trail system connects Carmel, Fishers, Noblesville, and Westfield through 4 major paved paths. So I talk a lot. The first one, almost everybody knows. If you don't, it's the oldest and longest trail. That's the Monon. Then you have Midland Trace Trail, that's Westfield. Nickel Plate Trail, which is Fishers. Fishers finally took the railroad down and replaced it with the Nickel Plate Trail. And then the newest one, which is the 106, which that connects across essentially from Fishers to Carmel, plus a network of easy to navigate connector routes. So whether you're biking, walking, or exploring with family, the HamCo Hubway offers a packed experience that blends wellness, leisure, and local discoveries. So this website is called, you can probably just search the HamCo Hubway. I definitely recommend. I'll put a link below this video as well, so that you can just click on it. But it is a phenomenal resource because it goes through on this, and you can get a free trail map. So you can download, this is the trail map that you can see. So this is 106. So that's the one that connects, like I said, the Fishers to Carmel. This is the Monon. Now the Monon actually even connects all the way to downtown Indianapolis and goes as north as Sheridan. So this trail isn't just connecting those 4 cities. It is, but those trails alone go a lot further. This is the Midland Trace. So this is what's going to connect that Westfield over to kind of Noblesville. And then this is the Nickel Plate Trail. So you can kind of see, here's the Nickel Plate Trail. It kind of goes up, but then it kind of jogs over so that you can connect over. So there's some connectors. So you're going to want to probably get the map, but you can get a free printed trail map. And then on here, it has, on their website, they have all sorts of different things, how to have fun, have a family-friendly day on the HamCo Hubway for adults. And then as you scroll down, there's a photo contest. I always love when the city tries to get the member, or get the members. It's not the right word, but the community involved. It's especially for young kids. I feel like if you're a young mom and you're like, I need something to do, you could go here, print this off, do a photo contest just to keep your kids active during the day. Or if you're with friends and family that have never been here and want to kind of document their trip to Indy, we are really cool. Not we as in Adam and I mean the Midwest, like Hamilton County. Came off weird, sorry. But so then they also have bike shops and rentals so that you can kind of know where to go there. There's the trail guide to kind of tell you about each one of the trails. And then places that you can stop along the trail. So the Arts and Design District in Carmel, Midland or Midtown Plaza in Carmel, City Center, which is really great. Midland Trace. So kind of, and then it also gives you like restaurants and stuff. So I'm so excited about this. I think it's such a great resource for Hamilton County and being able to really connect and to be able to know that you can jump on a trail and go pretty far, especially for some of those individuals that are bike riders. I've never been I own a bike, but my uncle would go and do 20 or 40 miles in a day. I always thought it was very interesting. I could not sit on a small bike seat for that long, but he loved it. And so this would be perfect for someone that is a biker that maybe doesn't want to go on the streets per se, but just wants to go through all of nature and really kind of see Hamilton County from a different perspective. So there you go. Really excited about that. Just thought that was a great addition. Again, I would go and get that map so that you can kind of see where it is and experience Hamilton County in a different way. So, okay. Next up on the docket, and don't forget during this whole time, if you have questions or if you want especially for if you're someone who doesn't live in the area, or you're new here and you're not familiar and you have questions. I've lived here for 30 years. I might not know the answer, but I can probably point you in the right direction or find out. And that's the goal of this channel always, is to kind of bring you new information and or to try to be kind of your resource, to learn. And sometimes it's hard to, especially when you're trying to do all of the things, to kind of know what's going on. So that's the goal, is to try to bring new things to you. So the next thing that is coming is Red Bridge Bistro, opened up recently. It's at 109 West Jackson Street in Cicero. The menu includes buffalo grilled chicken cheese, which that sounds, I'm not buffalo chicken, but like I love a grilled cheese. So for someone who loves buffalo chicken and grilled cheese, that would be amazing. A combination of roasted chicken and a cream cheese buffalo mix and a fried bologna sandwich made with thin sliced mozzarella, served on sourdough bread with a spicy maple mustard sauce. I think my husband would love that. I think my kids would love that. Doesn't sound good to me, but it's because I don't like buffalo chicken. But for somebody that would love buffalo chicken, I mean, that's a well in-depth grilled cheese. They have pot roast sliders, are their number one seller. They braise their own chuck roast in a liquid with some vegetables and herbs, and that goes with for 4 or 5 hours. Wow, so that's really I've got to imagine it's really juicy. Once it's all tender, we strain out that liquid and serve it on the side of the pot roast sliders as a dip. So it's like a play on a French dip, but our style. Sounds amazing. Let's see. So Paris, who is I believe he's the general manager of the restaurant. He got his start in the restaurant business washing dishes at the age of 14 and graduated from Hamilton Sorry, because I say I graduated from Hamilton Southeastern, it just flowed. It's not where he came from, but he actually graduated from Carmel High School in 1995, and then went to culinary school at Le Cordon Bleu French Culinary Academy down in Florida. I've got to assume, if that's kind of his history, that this food is good. Paris worked in several fine dining restaurants and hotels, including a restaurant chef for a 1,500 room Hilton resort. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of food. Anyways, I was really excited. It's a Red Bridge Bistro. Multiple people on social media have mentioned and or gone and thought that it was really, really good. So I wanted to kind of announce that it's a new place in Cicero. It's north of Hamilton County. And I love all these newer restaurants and or locations that are kind of going to what I call this second donut county, because I've said it in multiple videos and or even in our what we call talking heads about different locations, that second donut counties are growing. It's not a county, but like cities, that Cicero, Sheridan, Pendleton, they're all growing. And even in our video that we posted last week, we kind of talked about what some of those percentages were. So if that's an area, if you're up in that area looking at houses, I would recommend stopping by Red Bridge Bistro. Okay. Next up, as we kind of shift from community stuff into a little bit more of the real estate stuff with developments and communities and data, because I'm a data girl. Indianapolis-based Platinum Properties Management Co. LLC has submitted plans to the city of Westfield for a 720-acre development that would feature housing, shops, restaurants, and recreational amenities in an area just off the city's current northern boundaries. Now, Platinum Properties is proposed to build approximately 2,300 homes at Ironstone at Hortonville. I wanted to just go into a Hortonville. What is the city that's Horton the who? Anyways, okay. Just ignore me right now. Just Horton, here's a who. We're going to have it in Westfield. Wonder if the graphics. Okay. Just I digress. It's going to be developed south of 214th Street on the north and south sides of 206th Street, east of Fremont Moore Road, and west of Oak Ridge Road. Now, the proposed project site is partially an agricultural land with an unincorporated community of Hortonville and bisected by Six Points Road, Horton Road, and the Monon Trail. So the Monon's right there, which I think is really great. Kind of flows from, connecting all of the different trails. That is a lot of houses, 2,300 homes. I definitely feel like Westfield can handle that. I think that there's tons of growth. One of the things that I'm hoping that they're making sure that they're staying on top of is the infrastructure, especially when it comes to schools, because Hamilton Southeastern is seeing that. They did tons of development and building, and then that elementary school was at its capacity, and so they're having to ship students from one school to the next. And so my only hope is that as Westfield develops this, because 2,300 homes is a lot of kids. And I know that they're not all going to be kids, right? There's probably going to be some part of the community. Most of the time with properties like this, they have different types of properties within it, which I think they kind of go on to say. So according to the proposed site map, provided on Thursday's neighborhood meeting, the lakes would be built on the southwest corner. Sorry. Okay, let me go up a second. Sorry. The lakes, the reserves, and the village, which would be limited to single-family homes, and the Horton Square mixed-use block. The ironstone name represents the iron of the Monon Trail and the local limestone transported on the rail trail. And then it kind of goes on to say the lakes would be built on the southwest corner of 206th Street, blah, blah, blah. Home prices will be $350 to $700. The lakes would have linear parks and a water feature. And then the village and the Horton Square mixed use block would be the center of the community. The village would have rear loaded single family homes along with townhomes that would line the Monon Trail. Residents would be priced from that $350 to $800. And then the Horton Square would have shops, restaurants, and multi-family housing. A park called Foundry Park would feature pickleball and tennis courts, a 9-hole frisbee golf course, a waterfront amphitheater, a Monon Trail trailhead, and an 8,000 square foot clubhouse with a resort style swimming pool. And so you can see, so here's the kind of map. So all I'm saying is when you add that many people, right? Yes, you've got 3 different styles of homes, right? You've got the villages, the lakes, and the reserve. The price point, especially for the reserve, you're looking 500 to 2.1 million. So you've got, bigger homes, you have the condos, and then you have the rear entry single family homes. And so it's going to be interesting to kind of see that's still a lot of kids. And so again, I just question Westfield. Anytime we get a development like this, like Noblesville right now is working on one that is kind of a mixed use development, or what some would call a master plan community, where you've got, community and commercial integrated with residential, and you have all of the amenities and the trails and all of the things. I just want to make sure that infrastructure is prepared and the school system is prepared, because hopefully they're learning from Hamilton Southeastern, because Hamilton Southeastern did not do a great job with planning ahead to all of these neighborhoods being built and all of this development. And so it's somewhat of a struggle that right now they're going through redistricting. Westfield has said that they're planning on doing some redistricting partially because of that. And I'm hoping that they can flow these all together to plan. But I have to admit, it's hard for these school systems to plan ahead because the kids aren't there yet, and the money's not really there yet. And they've been cutting the taxes. And so because we haven't had as much because of everything that's going on with taxes. And so then the cities are having to go back to the states and ask for more funding. You guys, it's a shit show, if I might say so myself. And so although I love this so when I put my realtor's hat on, yeah, I love hearing that we're having things like this, that there's 2,300 homes, and I can't wait to see the houses. The realtor in me loves seeing new developments and properties popping up and everything that's happening. but that all comes at a cost. And so I think that we just have to be realistic in knowing, like, the resident in me says, okay, wait, can we make sure that we have all of these ducks in a row so we're prepared, so that we're not like working backwards with the schools and the taxes and everything. So anyways, I think it's cool. I think you're going to see more and more and more of this. To kind of go back to the Fishers Community Center. So it's funny, I posted on my Instagram about the community center, and one of my someone that watches my Instagram channel, which it's really not all that great, but commented on, oh, is it open? And I explained that it was for the founding members and all that. Well, she comes from a community that has tons of these. So has, a lot of like master plan communities, and in their cities, like she mentioned that she has like 3 community centers, and they have outdoor pools and indoor pools and all that. And so it's interesting to kind of see. She was in Colorado, and so Colorado, definitely from a health perspective, we're newer, I would say, Hamilton County is, to this mindset of having, where you are connecting all the cities, you're having master plan communities, you're having community centers where, it's not just LA Fitness, Lifetime Fitness, where it's really an integrated community center. And so I'm loving that Fishers is doing that. Carmel, of course, has theirs. She sent me a message, and she said, even though they're great here, the ones that she's used to are even better. So that makes me go, okay, good. So there's hope that it could even get better than that. Like, I've always wanted, I don't know who it is, I would love a lazy river. Carmel has one. Again, it's the city centers, but like, if each city could have their own lazy river, selfishly, I would love to have a lazy river in Fishers so that I could like just go and just lay and enjoy it. But so I am loving where Hamilton County is headed. I think definitely having all of this Horton, I literally can't say Hortonville without thinking of, anyways. Okay. I'm loving this. I love all aspects of this. I think it's going to be good. I'm interested to see how Westfield handles it, and what is going to happen. It was actually introduced to the Westfield City Council on October 27th. It would receive a public hearing on November 3rd. So if you are for it, then go speak out, say that you're for it. If you're against it, then I'm going to recommend you need to go and shut it down. I honestly don't think so. From my perspective, I don't think it can be a bad thing. I think this area is growing. I like growth. I think growth is good. And I don't think it's a bad thing, as long as they plan ahead and make sure that they look at the student and school aspect and the roads and all of that. Now, Hamilton County is notorious for doing very well with the roads, and Westfield does. And I think Westfield's kind of put itself on the map, and now it's like, okay, let's grow and get big. So I was really excited about that. I think that it's great news for Westfield, and I think every city's kind of positioning themselves where they need to be. So it's kind of cool. Okay. Next on the docket, we're kind of in the middle. So now I move kind of from like the development into kind of data. And so if you're the person that really likes data and wants to know what is going on in Hamilton County and or Indianapolis and the surrounding areas, I typically look at from a nation perspective, because it's kind of nice to see, okay, where is the nation moving? I do this partially because Indiana is always behind. Okay. I don't know if you've ever heard this. If you're in your probably 40s or 50s, you probably have heard this more than the youngins. But we historically, the phrase is that we are 7 years behind everybody else. Now, I think that used to be the case before the internet and before social media and everything. Like, it used to be more because of like fashion, let's say, like we're 7 years behind. I don't think we're 7 years behind, but I do think that we are still behind, even from an ecosystem and a development system. And I think Hamilton County is doing a great job, but I think that from a city perspective, when you look at data, right, things that are happening in Texas and California and Florida and across the nation, where you see these, where you're hearing the news where people are saying, the market is different, or the market shifted, and everything. And so I want to kind of talk about that shifting market, because it's coming. I just want to tell you right now, it's coming. I don't 100% know when, and it could still shift, but because we're behind, we don't always like, I feel like Indiana, I'm going to use the analogy of like a wave, right? Like Texas, like they're in this huge wave, like they're all, every news is talking about, again, some of these bigger areas, Texas, New York, Florida, California, Arizona, like these big waves. We have a wave. It's a little wave. We're a conservative styled wave, but we're still going to have a wave. Like it's going to happen. And so I came across this article of the top 10 housing markets for buyers right now. And so I'm always curious, okay, where is it? What does that look like? Is that involving us? Is it not involving us? 100% of the time it's not involving Indiana, but I like to keep an eye on what that then is going to look like. So Redfin, so I know this is BAM, which this is a real estate site, but I kind of like how they break it down versus going straight to Redfin. But so Redfin reports that US housing markets had 36.7 more sellers than buyers in September 2025, just below the record high of 36.9. Then Austin, Texas led all metros with 130% more sellers than buyers, while Newark, New Jersey topped the list of sellers markets with 41.9% fewer sellers than buyers. Across all 50 major metros, 35 were buyers markets, and home prices in those markets rose just 1.3% year over year. So then that's when I go, okay, I want to know Indiana's. So here's Indiana Metro. So currently right now we're sitting at 7,381 for September 1st. Sorry. So I know we're October. Everything's always a month behind, just so you know, like that's just how it works. You can't have data before there's data. So buyers, 7,381, which is a negative 7.44% buyers year over year. And then the sellers is 24.7%. And then, so you can come down here and kind of see where it's essentially the same. You can kind of see the same data, but it kind of shows you this is the, like you can see from the years 2016 to 2026. Sorry, I don't know what just happened there. But you can kind of see in 24, 25, like down here, there are 1,601,793 buyers, and we're sitting right now at, oh, it went to the nation. I'm like, wait a minute, those are way off. It refreshed, you guys. I'm like, there's not that many buyers in this area. Oh, let me switch it. Okay. Indianapolis. Okay, back to the data here. You can see back in, 2023 when it was, really high, it was 8,337 buyers, but yet now we're at 7,000, but the sellers are lower. Like you can see how much sellers have, back in this was 2000. This is 2020. Right? So look at how many buyers there were in 2020 and how compared to how many sellers there were. The sellers were, so this is, you can see this is a huge sellers market, but now Indianapolis, we're sitting at more sellers than we are buyers. And so those houses, everybody is always asks all the time, like, how is the market? Well, the market is stalled. Like we definitely don't. Okay. So people will ask, well, but will my house sell? I have done this for 22 years, and a good house, a high demand house, a house that's maintained well, that's priced right, will sell. It doesn't matter what market you're in. But we are currently now in a more of a buyer's market. Now, sellers still think we're in a seller's market, and they think that homes are going to sell quickly. And so that takes me into kind of the data on what is happening in our county. So I always start with Indianapolis and all of surrounding areas. So this is all of my board. So all of that area that you can see behind me, all of that is within this data. Okay. So there's the median price in Indianapolis and surrounding areas is 307,508. There's 2,883 closed sales. That is down 10%. Now, again, remember, this is September. So this is down from August. So August, it was 3,000. Now we're at 2,883. Days on market, 21 days, which is, it's up, which actually is a negative. I try to explain that each time. Even though you see green here, that's actually not a good thing. That's a bad thing. It means it's taking longer for houses to sell. It's still not a bad thing. 21 days, you guys. Back in the day, this has been as high as 60 days. Like it's crazy. And probably even higher than that. List price and median price, I don't look at that, or square footage. I don't look at that a whole lot because that is a variable that shifts very dependent on a house. And this number is going down. What this number would show you is that we're not getting offers at full asking price. If you see, it used to be 98, 99. And if I even went back even really into the 22, 23 era, you would see that this even gets higher to 99. But we're down at 97.8%. This tells me that sellers are still pricing their house too high. New listings were down 3,798, not as many new listings, but yet we're actually up in the amount of active listings or inventory we have. So that right there is just automatically showing we're down in new listings, but our active inventory is higher, which means our new listings aren't selling. And we're now at 2.5 months of inventory. So that's all of Indianapolis. I really love Hamilton County. I would say a lot of people, Hamilton County is a diamond in the rough because it is such a rare opportunity to live in an area that is just so amazing as Hamilton County. So I always want to make sure that I give you the data for that because a lot of our clients are in Hamilton County. Doesn't mean that we only sell in Hamilton County. I got everybody, but or we go everywhere, but okay, we don't go everywhere. I feel like sometimes when I say things, I have to I'm saying things faster. Does anybody else do that where words just come out of your mouth and you didn't even think about what you were saying? Welcome to Cameron in my life. Okay. That's the ADD in me. Okay. We sell I'm licensed in Indiana. I sell in Indianapolis and the surrounding areas. It's just sometimes because we talk about Hamilton County a lot, sometimes people will say, well, I didn't know you go to that area. If it's in Indiana, we go to that area. And if it's not in Indiana, I'm connected with agents across the country. So if you have questions about different areas or you want somebody that's similar to me, I can connect you with that person because I like people like me. Okay. Median, so Hamilton County, we'll get back on track. Median sales price $465. So that is still up. So that's where there is this tug, honestly, on how things are moving because our prices are still going up. In other parts of the country where you're seeing that it's now a buyer's market, prices are starting to drop. Now, are prices dropping? Yes, they're dropping in the sense of sellers are pricing their houses too high and realize the market isn't there anymore and having to drop the price. That's not that the housing market is dropping. That is in my mind, a superficial drop because sellers still think that it's 22 and 23 where they can still demand the high prices, but sellers aren't getting it. So you can see prices are still going up. Closed sales are down though. 537 sales is down 17.5%. Average days on market is 18. So you can see from last month. So we've just literally just increased 6, 6, 7, 9, 15, 17, 18. So we're up on the rise. Now, I am going to tell you, this always happens at fall winter time. So this is not abnormal on a normal scale or a statistical a statistical scale instead of snail. This always happens. There is always a slowdown. I will tell you though, there's going to be another slowdown in November, December, because what happens is everybody is like still looking. It's October. They're curious, right? For some reason, there's about a week in November that does fairly well, but then it just dies because everybody turns their head and shifts and goes, this is house, right? Like we're thinking about moving. We're going to shift. It's Thanksgiving. I've got a plan. What are we going to cook? What do I got to buy? Like all of the things, and everything shifts. Now, there's 2 caveats to this. People still get relocated because companies are moving people. It's a fiscal year end for many because of the year end. Fiscal year changes depending on the industry that you're in. And so what happens is that there's still people that are wanting to move or have to move. And so I always tell sellers like, hey, yes, you can still sell your home. You tend to only have people that are serious and committed walking through your house. So you don't have the looky-loos like you do in the summertime. And around the same percentage of houses sell in like the fall, winter, really winter, that does in like the spring/summer variable, right? Like you have to go price point by price point by city. And I've looked at all of that data, but an overarching, it's about the same. Okay. There are just pockets that are a little bit different, but so what I'm saying here is that yes, you can still sell. You just have to take a different approach to it. And we set so many expectations with our sellers during this time frame because it is honestly a really good time to sell as long as you know the expectations and know what you're getting yourself into. You cannot list your home and expect to have 800 showings and all these people and all these things. I mean, unless you're underpriced and a phenomenal property and the deal of the century, then yes, you potentially could still get that because those still happen. But this kind of is showing you like the days on market is increasing, the closed sales are going down, the new listings. So Hamilton County is again a little bit of an anomaly from the standpoint of our new listings are up 3.4% and our active inventory is up, right? So then people are confused because, well, but then why is month supply of inventory down? Well, because we got a ton of new inventory, right? And or active inventory. And so we're kind of like at this like pendulum or this, we're on a teeter totter of like, okay, which way are we gonna go? But we're at the very beginning of kind of the winter slump. Okay. As I spit. Ooh. So that kind of gives you an idea of what's happening here in Hamilton County. The last part of the show, so if you don't want to see houses and you don't care, then you can turn me off now. But if you're interested in what you can get at 3 different kind of price points, I always kind of the last like 10 to 15 minutes, I like to at least show you some houses that I think are good deals, that I think are going to be phenomenal properties and or are kind of like ones that stood out for me. So the first one that stood out to me is this one that is at 15182 Fallen Leaves. Happened also to have it listed. It is priced at $375. This house is impeccably maintained. They've done a great job. It is in Noblesville. The address is Noblesville. And so I don't think, unfortunately, that it's getting the views, because this is also why I mentioned the zip code redistricting or remapping, because I think this is a perfect example of a house that people aren't seeing because it's in Noblesville address, but a Hamilton Southeastern School District. It is 2,760 square feet, 2-bed, 1-bath. And it's, like I said, they've updated it. So they've done some cute updates to the house to kind of freshen it up and make it all new LVP on the first floor. And then, open concept. So you have open kitchen, 2 family room, And I'll put a link below if you want a video tour of this house. We have that up on our YouTube channel as well. But a massive, massive primary bedroom with, she's got the space for a office there, dual sinks, shower tub combo, super large closet. She's actually bummed with the new house that it doesn't have as big of a closet. 3 bedrooms, but then it also has a loft upstairs, which is really great, and the washer and dryer upstairs. And it's a fenced backyard, so the dogs can roam and are great. Let me show you location, because I know I typically try to show you location. It is super close to just about everything. So it is off of Greenfield Avenue. So this is 37. So a little bit north of 37 here. And 38, you've got all the shopping, Walmart, Meijer, Target, not Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, Hobby Lobby, like all the things, right? And then here at Saxony, you have or Hamilton Town Center, you've got the outdoor mall. So great location, super quick to jump on 69 to head to, if you've got to go north to Michigan, say you have family that live in Michigan, or if you want to go to downtown, you are quick access to 69 to get to downtown Indy. So honestly, such a great place. Okay, next location or next home that I have on our tour is 11948 Gray Ghost Way. This is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2,907 square feet. So you can kind of see the difference. This one's 745,000, but it's a brand new build. So it was built in 2025 and is in Grantham. And so let me flip through these pictures, which are stunning pictures. Now, I don't know. Yeah. So it says this is a model. So they're showing you a model home. This is a spec home. But it is open. It has tall windows, tall ceilings, has a basement, which is really great. And then this is what the move-in package is. So it might not have the same, finishes as the one that you're seeing in this picture. I love move-in ready spec homes. We're going to try to post more home tours that are of new construction, because I think that it is an untapped market right now. There's so many builders that are at the end of the year end. They're all throwing out promotions. You typically can get either buy down for rates or money down to just even get your payment lower, or they're able to throw in, upgraded kitchen, appliances, all the things. So some clients are even getting their backyard sodded, which is not usually normal. Like all those little things, builders are trying to get these homes sold because they're on their books and they need them sold. So love Grantham, partially because they've got a huge amenity that is under construction that will be open in 2026. They're going to have a pool and that community center, the indoor tennis / pickleball, basketball courts, a little dining, eating area. And I just think that it honestly is going to be a great community to be able to purchase in. So let me give you location again, because I think, again, this is one of those where I feel like I need to show you location. So this is kind of the northeast side of Fishers by Cynthia Ann Park, Southeastern Parkway. You're super close. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit. You're super close to downtown Fortville. Downtown Fortville is a great little community, shops, dining. It kind of just makes you feel like you're in the Midwest. And you're still super close to Geist. So there's tons of shopping and dining here. And still even, Southeastern Parkway flows all the way to 69 again to be able to jump on the highway. So again, a really great location with tons of, parks, shopping and dining that are close by. So just, great great community. Grantham. There you go. Last but not least is so fun. I really want to get into this house. So I need somebody that has $12 million to give me a call so that we can go tour this home. But this is, and I should have plugged this at the very beginning. I didn't even think about it. So I'm sorry to all the people that didn't continue watching, but this is Michael Andretti's home. So if you're an Indy 500 fan, he listed his house in Fishers that is on Geist. It is 10606 Brook School Road. It is a 9-bedroom, 9 full bath, 3 half bath, 2,100 square foot home. So they purchased it a while back and completely gutted and remodeled it. And this property is a stunner. Like, look at this. Like the backyard, all of the land, it looks stunning. There is a gate to get in, of course. You're on, for the most part, main body, so you can kind of see everything. And again, this is Hamilton Southeastern School Districts. Hamilton Southeastern School District, which we're going to do a school video here in the next week or two that are going to kind of talk about where where people are sending their schools. You could live here and still be sending your kid to a phenomenal school because Hamilton Southeastern is ranked. So that portico is beautiful. The drive-through to the garages. I mean, this is stunning. When you walk up, you've got a water feature. You can hang out and just kind of sit and enjoy company. Look at that. It's steel. It looks like copper steel water feature. You step inside and it's exquisite. You've got beautiful flooring, the lighting, even to a certain extent, you've even got the lighting that is in the molding, which, is just kind of like chef's kiss when you have like such a beautiful property and then they take it to that next level of adding to it. The views, right? I actually don't even feel like this. This picture does not do this room justice. Unfortunately, pictures, like there's not a photographer that could really even do justice to this because I just think that it's such a unique property with having those big windows that look out on the water. It was a sunny day, so it's going to be hard to be able to see that you're looking out on Geist. Beautiful dining room. We're apparently just showing a light. Look at the woodwork here. Look at the, artistry that is the carving of the wood in this office with the fireplace. Like this is just a vibe. You can feel it. And I feel like a race car driver would own this space right here because that is really stunning. It walks into, so again, I wish that there were descriptions on these to kind of know, like, is this considered the great room, bar, kitchen space? I'm not really sure. I think it's just an entertaining space. Look at that cabinet. It's gorgeous. I wouldn't want to move that, but I mean, clearly you can tell that he probably had parties. Again, another view of the lake. Here's the kitchen. He definitely loves animals because we've got animal print everywhere, which I absolutely love, and animals that are carved into the woodwork, which is super cool. Stunning kitchen. They've done a great job. That's interesting. So it looks like this, if I'm correct in saying this, this looks like a flat cooktop, but then you still have a stove over here. So like this could, if you're doing breakfast, you could have a big, huge thing of breakfast, like sausage and egg, and like have it just like you could, the little things that when you're at a hibachi where like they're like doing this at the hibachi station. It's exquisite. Lighting underneath you can see, which is really great. I'm sure that if I got in there and actually walked the property, like I'm sure that they've got all those features of the drawer pulls and the slow close and like, that's the hard part about pictures and stuff. You can't really feel and see the benefits of all of those extra things that they did, which I know they did. It's a $12 million property. They're gonna have those things. And you can even see, like, you can probably tell some of these are going to be like the dishwasher, the ice maker, the trash, the compactor. Like I'm sure there's a bunch of that. Like you've got a wine fridge. It almost looks like a wine dispenser almost, where like that's the wine bottle. And so you just walk up and you just put your wine glass underneath. Okay. Okay. I see you, Michael Andretti. Okay. I mean, beautiful archways. This looks like they probably have screens that come down, which is great because especially Indiana, hot summers, you're going to have mosquitoes with living on the lake. So you can close those and be able to enjoy that space. Looks like there's a heater as well and a fan, so that you probably could, heat the area. These are all assumptions because I haven't actually walked the home, but I've seen it enough. You've got a microwave here. This is probably the scullery, and so this is probably behind the kitchen, so that if you're having a party, you could actually have people cooking and or preparing food and then bringing it out for guests and stuff. I love a good scullery with tons of cabinet space. And then, that looks like it's a hidden door. So that goes into the scullery. So when this is closed, I don't know what space this is or where it's at, but it looks like it walks into, maybe this is the primary. Is that where they're taking us? I'm not 100% sure. There's an elevator that again, this is where pictures are hard because you don't know where in the estate you are now. Is this a primary bedroom? Is it a secondary bedroom? A lot of times, even secondary bedrooms can be this luxurious in estates like this. I'm assuming this is probably the primary with a his and hers sinks. I'm going to make that assumption with that garden tub, right? You're usually not going to have all of that. But I definitely have walked into estates like this where you have a secondary bedroom that has just an exquisite bathroom that's at maybe not as big, but is still as grand. Closet system. So, that's gorgeous with the lighted. Okay. So was that the his? Nope. So that's similar, but I don't know if it's all, there's the his. Okay. So I was questioning, right? So there's the hers and the his. This is apparently showing the hinges on something. I'm assuming it's a door or cabinet of such. A hallway, the stair. I love a good circular hallway. And that ceiling is exquisite. How many times? Somebody counting how many times I say exquisite? This looks to be probably an in-laws quarters or a suite because it's got a family room and what looks like a kitchen that you would see in another $1 million house. So it's not the same kitchen. And then there's the wine cellar. This looks to be the basement, right? So a circular couch that goes out to the outdoor space. Now that's a cool, look at that bar. Okay, that's super cool. I love the lucite chairs and the gaming space, and it's, the stark white and looks out on lake. So entertaining, your guests would come in. You could, you've got a bartender on staff at that point in time. They're grabbing a drink, going outside and enjoying the slide outside. Okay, see, I want to be a kid and move into Andretti's house because I want to race cars and play ping pong. Foosball, literally just, I feel like, can you make sure that the chick and the duck are okay? Just finished watching Friends. It makes me think of Friends and the chick and the duck. I don't even know. That's a sink. That is a sink with a mirror in the bottom. Let's try to figure that out. Movie theater, of course, you've got to have a movie theater if you're spending $12 million with a popcorn. Is that popcorn? Yep. So it looks like you've got popcorn and snacks. Workout. You don't need a Hamilton County or a Fishers Community Center when you live here because you've got your own. Outdoor space, again, with more screens. You guys, this place is amazing. I think it's like, they're showing 4 here, but I feel like it's like a 9-car garage or something. But that's, it's nothing like putting chandeliers in your garage. And not just one chandelier. From this picture, there's 6 chandeliers. And those aren't chandeliers that like you got on the side of the road. That is stunning. I'll just take, you know what? I don't need the house. You can just give me the car. I'll take that car right there. That one. What is that? Let's see. Hey, babe, what is that?
Lamborghini.
What kind of Lamborghini?
Huracan.
There you go, guys. Okay, but wait.
It looks like a Huracan STO because it has a.
See, because that one's not any of these four.
No, that's a different garage.
It's a different garage. This is the chandelier garage. Well, no, see, that's the chandelier garage too. I mean, I could figure out how to work on cars if I was working on cars there. It's just a stunning. There's 4 more cars.
I think it's a different garage.
Yeah. And this is probably the garage's apartment. So there's an extra apartment. That grass is stunning. They definitely have it manicured like a golf course. That pool is amazing. Look at the water features and the slide. Look at that. That's just amazing. This is one of those properties. A lot of times you see some of these properties are on the Lawrence Township, or that's where your kids would go. Not this one. This one's Hamilton Southeastern School District and is breathtaking. They've done a phenomenal job. I want to show you one last thing. I'm over on my time, so I'm sorry if you're still hanging with me and interested in this property. If you're interested in the property, just call me. They are requiring proof of funds, so you'd have to provide that. But location wise, great location. So this is Fall Creek. So you're kind of off of Brook School Road. So one of those hidden, let me zoom in real quick. When you're driving along Brook School Road and there's like the few houses that have gates that you don't know where the house leads to. And I've always, actually one of my best friends in high school had property. There was not a house on it at the time, but it had property, and we would go and have events at that. And she would have a swing that would go out into Geist. It was super fun. But great location, because this right here, Brook School and Fall Creek. So some of our favorite restaurants are right here and right here. So you've got Puccini's and drawing a blank of all the other places. Salt. There's a yoga studio. There's a little shopping here. Iced coffee. What? Geist coffee. I thought he said iced coffee. I'm like, I'll take an iced coffee. That sounds great. I'm gonna go make one. And all sorts of stuff. So it's it's again quick access. Well, okay, I am gonna admit, not great access with respect to getting to downtown, because this is a pain in the butt. But you could take Oleo over to 116th Street down, or you just take 600 to 36 and go down. So like, it's not the best from like trying to get to over here, because like going around, but it's also, although it's not quick, it is one of my favorite drives because there's tons of trees. This is where you have kind of like little hills in Fishers, Indiana. So anyways, yeah, so hopefully you like that. That's one of those properties where it's kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity to kind of see what the property is. And so I'm trying to get in there. But unfortunately, I don't have any $12 million clients just sitting around wanting to see Andretti's house. So if that's you, let's go check it out. Well, that's it. It is past the hour mark. I went too long. I really wanted to show Andretti's house. But that's a wrap on this week's HamCo Roundabout. Thanks, of course, for hanging out and catching up on all of the new things happening. And yeah, it's just fun to kind of be here and be able to kind of show you what's happening. If you were excited about the new Fishers Community Center finally opening, or the Cozy Carmel farm living, or maybe you are super excited about the new trail, make sure to leave a comment below. Let us know what was your favorite topic today. If you learned something new or just love seeing how Hamilton County keeps growing while staying connected, then make sure to always hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. I'll be back in 2 weeks. Until then, stay local, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Bye.